Alright everybody, what's going on? How you all doing? This chapter of Black Clover, honestly, I don't think I have a whole lot to say about it, but there are a couple things that I do want to touch on. First of all, they're getting really deep into the past of Mr. Ice Guy, or Crystal Guy, whatever you want to call him. And he is just like, he has such a generic past that I almost don't really care about him to an extent. It just seems like something we've seen over and over and over again. It just seems a little weird to me, to be honest, that they would just do something so generic. And they touched on it a little bit more in this chapter. When pretty much everything is said and done in this chapter, they pretty much go on and talk about it a little bit more. And it's just like, why do they really need to bother with this guy? As long as he becomes more of an influence later on in this manga, then maybe I will kind of accept it, because just right now it seems like they're spending a little more time on this character than they really need to. But it does seem like he does have a nice side, which is pretty interesting. It kind of seems like some memories come back and he remembers a little bit more. But to be honest with you guys, for the most part, this chapter revolved around them getting out of the dungeon after it is crashing down. Asta is still pretty much severely hurt, and they are... What is awesome, one thing I really do like about Black Clover is that they are really determined to get Asta out of here. I really like that they're showing that the characters are growing as people, because not only do Asta's teammates want to save him and get him out of this dungeon, the other guild, or whatever you want to call them, I'm probably going to call them a guild, but the other group wants to save them. The dude with the glasses wants to save him now, and he probably wouldn't have cared too much. He probably would have cared to an extent, because at the end of the day, Asta is on their side, but he's part of a group that everyone looks down on. And by the end of it, he wanted to get him out of there. He saw Asta's true powers. He saw how much potential he had. Asta showed that he was not just talk, and that he actually not only cared about power, but cared about his kingdom, and I thought that was awesome. And especially when they get out of the dungeon after it crashes down and everything like that, he goes up to not only Asta, but Juno, I believe the other dude's name is, Asta's rival friend. I'm trying to learn... God. I'm trying to learn their names. I think I'm dying. I'm trying to learn their names as best as I can, but like I said, I'm terrible with names. But it did seem like that he just goes up to him, he hugs them, and he pretty much apologizes for everything. He apologizes for judging them based on their upbringing, out in the country, in the sticks, pretty much being nobodies for the most part. And I thought that was awesome. I really like how these characters are growing as people, and that is just awesome. I love that. So far, that was my favorite thing out of this chapter, that we had characters actually growing. For the most part, not a lot happened, but I did like seeing that the characters are growing as people. They're not stuck in their ways. They can grow. And that by far was my favorite thing out of this chapter, and I give the author a ton of credit for being able to do something like this. And for this chapter, I'm going to give this chapter about a 6 out of 10. Like I said, not a whole lot happened event-wise. We got to see a little bit more on the past of Mr. Ice Guy, and honestly, it was really generic. He got some memories back, which is pretty cool, but honestly, I kind of feel like it was all kind of a waste of time or a waste of pages, unless he actually turns out to be something more in the future, which I hope is the case, because he actually seems like he could be a real ally if he wanted to do so. And I did really like the character progression. I like how the characters are growing as human beings. I really like that. That is awesome. Overall, 6 out of 10. Like I said, not a whole lot happened as far as events goes. It was mainly just escaping the dungeon as it was collapsing. But thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed. So far, Black Clover's turned out pretty good. Definitely needs to step up its game a little bit, I feel. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, if you guys could give this video a like and subscribe, I would very much appreciate it. And thank you all so much for the love and support on the previous videos. It has been awesome. I love you all, and I will see you all next time. I am out.